Yo, welcome back everybody. Today we have gameplay from Arfus. That's it. No other intro. Kidding a little bit. I'm never going to get tired of this composition. Arfus, Lich King, put undead in the game. There's so many different ways of scaling Arfus. And you build gigantic attack swarm minions that beat down any big stat board. It counters poison scam. It's so ridiculously good. We've played like 8 or 9 games of Arfus so far this season. And all but 1 or maybe 2 have been first place. It's kind of crazy how consistent it is. If you just get a hold of Arfus Buddy on time, you look for anything that's reborn early to set it up, and then just level to 4. You can win off Fel Stomper, you can win off Greenthumb, you can win off Anub'Arak, and then you just put Swarm on the board. Alright, enjoy. I'm with you. I feel you on that one. Alright, could be worse. So we got ourselves a nice little reborn minion. We get to cheese out Arfus a little bit early. Any undead reborn will make this board actually nasty mid-game. And we look to go to 4 aggressively. Ideally, we go to 4 and we find a noob quickly in a game. Find a noob quickly, your game is super easy as Lich King. Seeing that a 9k I get to play against pros like yourself. Yes. Yes, I think that 9k to 10k, somewhere in that range, regularly plays the top 1 or 2 lobbies that are going on in any one game span, a 1 minute game span. Note that we only search for a game every 1 minute. Or at a 1 minute period, right? So it still has to fill down people in that 1 minute period. There's only... What's the bottom of top 200 right now? 11k? There's only 200 people in the entire server that are 11k. So like, what's the likelihood that those people are currently playing and in queue for that 1 minute period? You got to fill down to like 9k very, 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 very often. Occasionally down into 8k ranges. I play at 7, 8k and top players somewhat regularly through not most of my games. Yeah, occasionally you fill down into that range too. But 9k very regularly should be getting the best or the second best lobby in that 1 minute period. I am 11k and I always play people who aren't in the top 500 all the time. Yeah, same, bro. There are only 200 people in the top 200. How many of them are queuing in that 1 minute period? That's not an abnormality. All right, we'll just get him early. I think we'll just take our free win. There's only 200 people in the top 200. Now, the other way around is that you're still going to get the top lobbies, but the top lobbies aren't necessarily 15k players. There's going to be a lot of top lobbies that end up being the best player is 12k and the second best player is 11k and the third best player is 9k. You have a bunch of people there in that 9k range. It's like a, look at a bell curve. There's a lot more people in the middle of the bell curve than there are at the extremes. Same reason we talk about awkward. Same reason we talk about words have eluded me. Same reason that we talk about why data for like the top 1% of players from like HS replay isn't really applicable to optimized strategies, because there are far more players that are at the bottom portion of that range of top 1% than there are the people like Beater, for example, who's at 15, 16k right now. He's optimized so far above that degree that if you take the average behavior of all top 1% players, it's massively disproportionate toward the people that are around 11k and takes very little influence from the people that are actually succeeding and going way higher in the meta. So it's cool as a benchmark to like, learn the game, but realistically, it only gets you so far. Is it harder to climb EU if there are more players in the middle? It is harder to get to the number one spot. It's harder to get to a discrete. It is harder to get to a discrete number if there are more people on that server. So it's harder to get top 500 on the more populated top 500 server, right? But it's still equivalent to be top 1% on a server and top 1% on any other server, regardless of the number of players. You are still the 99th percentile of player in that region, if that makes sense. Yes, it's harder to get number one on the biggest server. I don't think anybody would dispute that. Yeah, I'm just gonna do this. I'm just gonna take you. Not really a debatable point. There is a small debate, don't get me wrong, a small debate on whether or not it is truly more difficult. Because there could just be a couple players that are outliers at the very top, and that the overall population of the server doesn't reflect how good the top players are. And then that's more like just your local competition of A versus B at the very top. Try to greed out some stats on the Scarlet Skull because we keep it around. How do you always hit Arthas Greenthumb? We don't always hit Arthas Greenthumb. Sometimes we hit Arthas Greenthumb. Sometimes we hit other things. Hey, Bofur. It's a really long message. GG. I don't tend to read dissertations. Nothing wrong with the message, but I'm not going to read it all out loud. GG. That's a lot of words. Let's see. Arthas value. Moderate Arthas value, at least. All good? Yeah, I read it all. I'm with you. GG. I don't like ignoring people, but also I'm not going to do a massive reading comprehension test live on stream. Yeah. I'd really like a 6, but how do we stretch for a 6? We just have to level and do nothing next turn unless we triple sell, which may be the play. Alternatively, we tank the round right now, which seems silly. We could take this to buff, but the problem is we have to sell the minion before we buy this minion. That's not necessarily true. We could have actually maybe done that slightly different. Let's think that one through. Could we have avoided that situation? Buy up the triple first, sell the card through? Yeah, we could have avoided that. We could have avoided it. I'll walk that back. I should have bought the consume. Not that it's really necessary because the minion itself is highly debatable whether it stays on the board. But this needs to be a 6 in this game, right? If we're not going to get to Arthas, because we could have bought this. And then we could have played this guy through with this. Right? Like this would have been in our hand to consume this and then level. I was going to sell this though, because I was just going to keep the taunt. Definitely debatable though. Do I like the reborn piggy back imp? Probably not, because we reborn the 6 most of the time. Nice board you got there, Bofur. Jesus. No! We do not have pirates in play. These are not the 6s we're looking for. We do get Arthas Golden next turn. So, like, ain't the end of the world. So we could 15-15 you. Could be a lot stronger for the turn. We could 15-15 you so that we get a slightly bigger pup bot in the future, but I really don't care that much about that. And yeah. I'm just going to put you guys over here. I'm going to take my small buff and I'm going to get my golden Arthas next turn and we're just going to play into it. Is bacon overrated? Like the food? Or like sun bacon? I think sun bacon's overrated on turn 1. People are buying it too often. Bacon as a food cannot be underrated. Or overrated. It's way too good. It's delicious. I like how we still win because Arthas is just really dumb at this time of the game. Like, look at these guys. Look at them. They're huge. They obliterate shit. Also, 15-15 is really good. We turned a 1-4 into a 15-15. It's a lot of power. Calculus was fine, but I'm glad I never had to do a single delta Y transformation after uni. Yee. Yee. At least Summoner's good, right? We leveling? Yee. The moon beckons. We're just leveraging the fact that Arthas is just silly amounts of tempo in the middle of the game. You put Summoner third to let it grow. No, I'd rather just win. It only gets one proc anyway, because we can't have 3 things die. You could argue this way. But then if this thing doesn't get hit twice, actually, this thing always dies enough times. Boo! Sindori? That's cheat. That's definitely cheat. Definitely cheat. Mm-hmm. 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 Get wrecked. He's going for the memes. You gotta appreciate the meme line. Got rid of both Reborns. Hey, those are 2 of the cards we named. That's a pretty good first board. Holy shit. Look at that shit. Yeah, we're not doing Theo this game. It's a sister. That it is. We do not have mech in play. So we can't get module. We got 1 board to buy from. Can make a pretty good argument that the play is still just Micro Mummy. GG, we win. I mean, we're a pretty damn good board right now. Abomination seems unnecessary. It's not really unnecessary so much as just bad. The card itself does not scale at the rate that a synergy card would scale on this board. Like, a synergy card will buff the whole board better than the abominational buff itself, and the card itself doesn't make the final board. So, like, this is a temporary minion, but it buffs things that are permanent, as opposed to a minion that scales worse and is a temporary minion and buffs itself. Ooh, bullshit. Well, Reborn Arthas buff himself. No. It's more like I don't want Arthas sniped and nothing else is a really good hit to use it on. That's the only real thought there. You could argue Colossus getting buffed instead of Sister, but we would have to assume that this opponent is completely and utterly trivial for that to be the play. Meh. Meh. Tid. Probably gonna pick it up. We have a mutinous problem in this game. Yee. One more turn. Greenthumb. Gets approximately 2 procs this fight. We're gonna view this guy as fairly trivial. Two procs. 3 is very optimistic for Greenthumb. Does each college in the US have its entry exams on its own, or is it private, or you have one for the whole country? Yeah, we have some standardized tests for like undergrad, like ACT, SAT. But there's also some entrance exams that can exist for certain schools. Grad schools are very, very, very different. Especially once you get up into the doctorate level. It all just depends on the university. But yes, we do have standardized testing at the end of high school to kind of give a benchmark for people. Okie dokie. Reborn things do reborn things. Ah, can't snipe that one. Ah, it's really too bad. It's really too bad too. Our minions can't die. Alright, good, good. We got one proc at least. It's something. Maybe we'll get more eventually as all of the minions bypass all of their minions. Alright, believers. Nice, second proc. It only took all the way through the fight. Ooh. You need a noob. Nah, not really. We're already up to casually plus almost 100 attack. Oh, baby. Down goes the mutinous. I was picking this stuff up to deal with the mutinous at the end. Nice. Unit count's gonna be everything now. See what this late game board looks like, but Mechadraxus can be very useful. Friend! I just want to keep my same board again. I don't have any reason to change it. Friend can be gross. I don't want to sell minions. Passing on friends. A wee bit late. We do get the reborn. Now, obviously, we have to play a demon with it, but this is Fel Stomper, you know? The card that we've been looking for the entire game. So, do we want second Death Whisper with the potential to triple it? Or would we rather just have Soul Splitter, an extra reborn on the board? Soul Splitter freeze? Meh. I think I buy freezing. How many death rattles you got? Fair chunk with the handless here. Our unit count's a little bit low. Our attack's a lot higher. So like these minions are basically one shot. But that's a lot of little bodies. Which is annoying to deal with. This one. This one. Okay, good try, but you weren't quite big enough. Sorry, you need to go over here. Thank you. Well done, little guy. Well, he has ice blocks still. Not anymore. True. Doesn't have it anymore. These are poo. 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 Alright, let's test our memory. How big were the minions? Baron definitely wasn't zappable, but he did have a reborn little guy. Miss Taunt. But like, why do I want Taunt? I wanted Taunt like a decade ago for these guys, but not anymore. Ghoul range? Yeah, but he has 2 turns to fix it, and he probably also dies to the brand, so like, what's the point? Here we go. This is the shit we want right here. Unit count. Okie dokie then. We're going to get out of this next turn. We want this on the board though, because we want to be able to get this out of ghoul range. Now we'd like taunt. I just need to bring this thing up twice. Potentially these guys dying. And this is the cycle spot. How often do you put meaningful comments in your computer code? Depends on who it's for. If it's for a client, every line. If it's for myself, not nearly as much. What if it's for future you? It depends on what the portion of the code is. There's a lot of stuff that's just common sense. I don't need to comment that shit. But if it's for a client, nearly everything has at least some level of comments for it. Alrighty, good enough. Out of ghoul range. Turns out it needs to be usable to a lot of people. Not everyone understands what you're trying to say. Yeah, I++ must comment that line. What does this line do? Ooh, he did die. Ooh. Ooh, spicy. All right. See what we can do with this. We didn't find Fel Stomper. He doesn't seem to exist in this lobby. Yo, Jakirik, my dude, thank you so much for the raid. And the shout out for Jakirik. It's just all Mecha Jiraxis. They're taunting us. No Stompy Boy allowed. These are... Ooh! It's a taunt at least. Let's magnetize one of these guys. Oh wait, you can't. I can't fuck up the magnetize that cost us the second, or the second game of the day. Not this time. Not this time, Babs. I'm not reading him teching against us. TBH. You silly Arphus Forcer. It's what we do, bro. Oh, he did tech against us. I didn't read that that card would be something they typically buy. It did. Taunting this up is bad. We should have taunted this up in that case, but... Oh, Arphus exposed! Now he's gonna have to get enough attack to kill it. Pretty okay. Pretty okay. Not okay. One of the biggest problems with this fight is that he randomed into the God mode hero power for this board. He has to beat us multiple times, and he's only going to have it this time. The reason we went from 100 against this guy to low. Thanks, game. To be fair, we only have one left, so wasn't that important anyway. Madge, dude. Let's see you do it without Grey Bow hero power. For sure. For sure. And 7 years ago. We're just counterplaying tech cards. Like, we're not going to buy another minion that's going to replace this minion on the board. Considering that we're just done with our gold. We might as well counterplay all the tech cards they can buy. There you go. That's a lot better. Open up our board space. Let's go. Acceptable. Just don't hit the one bad hit here. That was the one bad hit here. Why you gotta be this way? Why is it gotta be this way, game? There's literally one opener. One. And you hit it. Madge. I think his unit count's a little high for us. Yeah, maybe not. By sniping the A-bomb, we actually get pretty close. Because that's a value trade. That's a value trade. Never mind. We Gucci. We Gucci anyway. But yeah, the common card that he's going to play into is Ghoul, right? Now, you have to drop Baron to play for Ghoul. And in the process of doing so, he nukes his own board. When we commit 6 gold on the first board, if there's no other minion that we're going to buy to play on the next shop, then we're just going to commit 9 gold. Because then we can fix one of the small issues if he pivots away from Baron into Ghoul. And realistically, it also gives us, it's just, you know, gold that we're never going to use, I should just say. Simple kind of explanation, but the opportunity cost of the actual gold is incredibly low when nothing else gets played on the board. There's literally nothing else we play outside of triples.